Hey, 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 happy Monday. Welcome to the Angel channel, our 48th episode of the Angel of Fertility. So, hope everybody's having a good week and all ready for the Thanksgiving festivities. And we'll be talking about gratitude a little bit tonight, what a powerful thing that is, and what a tangible energy it is, and how it has actual physical effects. So, that'll be really fun. I don't know if anybody got out on the 19th, the 18th, and the 19th, see the meteor shower, but man, it was just really beautiful here. It was cold cold, cold for Florida, and there was just no humidity, man. It was just crystal clear, and they were just popping off really frequently, really super cool. Yeah, let's see, make sure. Yeah, there's another one, the Geminids, one of my favorite meteor showers of the year, is coming up on December 13th. So, when it's cold and wintry and clear outside, that's just such a good time to go meteor gazing. I'm really excited tonight. I've got a frequent guest, an old friend, and a metaphysical compadre, Raffael Kemenscy, and we're going to have a bit of a discussion. He's always got something crazy and cool to bring to the party, and we're long overdue. So, and as always, let me start the show with thanks to, hey, what's up, Mary Jo? Ha, Mom. Hey, yeah. Well, we'll definitely get readings for both of you guys. I just want to acknowledge our sponsor, friedokra.tv. My friends Ernie Mosteller, man, they do amazing infomercials, corporate videos, commercials, movies, photography. You get the hint. So, you're looking for anything in particular and just interested in going to check out something interesting, it's friedokra.tv. So awesome. Thanks, Ernie, man, keeping us afloat. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Yeah. I did and have been doing this for a long time. I use my art to kind of explore my shadow side. And when I have really intense feelings like anger or fear or anything that's going on really intensely, I try to do some art that kind of reflects that energy. And yeah, here, I'm going to show you these. I just did some light paintings end of last week that yeah, window. Where's my guys? Technical difficulty. Here we go. So these are just fun, super intense, kind of raw emotion. And what always trips me out is they never look like me. Although that's me in there. And it is mirrored, but that is my face in there, which is kind of crazy. This one's pretty crazy too. Yeah. The devil in me. It was an intense week last week, man. And what's really great about these is it feels like I get it out. Like it's not there anymore after I do these. Yeah. So anyway, I'm always trying to offer up suggestions on explorations and different ways you can do that. A really super cool way to do that is to use your phone in the mirror and get it set to a little bit of a longer shutter speed and push it in right at your face in the mirror. And you get some really crazy, especially if your intent is to be able to see yourself, like your past lives. I'll show you this next week. I think I have a picture of my very first incarnation, which I know sounds crazy, but man, it was a crazy ride. And just encourage you. Everybody's got those phones, man. Everybody's a photographer now. So, use it up right in the mirror. I used to do it with Polaroids because you would push in really fast without the flash. It was just enough of a kind of speed for it feels like the energy to kind of congeal some other message. And the things that came back that did not even look like me. I got a couple of angels. I got the Archangel Michael, and I'll do a little show and tell on those next week. Anyway, kind of a good way to deal with your shadow self. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I think that's all of this. So without further ado, let's see, we want to end this. Remove. There we go. All right. Vivian, hey, good to see you. Oh, yeah, nice. Mom likes the art. Absolutely, Mom. Come be part of the tribe. It's a pretty interesting little group of people. I think we're going to be kind of like thin today. A bunch of people called and said they couldn't make it tonight, but you'll enjoy the company. All right. So without further ado, my good friend Raffael Kemenscy. What's up, my brother?
Hey, Ryan. How are you?
I'm really good, man. I'm happy to see you. It's been a while since we've had any conversation, and I'm eager to kind of catch up with you and see where you're at. Also, I got a couple of, where kind of the theme for the night is going to be talking about gratitude and the actual physical energetic effects that thinking with a spirit of gratitude have. I also want to talk about how changing the age, has just changed into Aquarius. And it's brand new in it, but it's fully in it now. And I noticed that things that have been kind of my ways of doing rituals and my kind of a Capricorny kind of viewpoint about it, and strict and you know me, man. We used to go round and round about that, man. It needed to be done this way. And none of those really work very much anymore. And I'm feeling like what has kind of manifested for me was backing off from the intensity of how it's accomplished and be pure on the intent of what you actually want and clear in your concrete visualization of that as well, and then to send it off and be prepared for the openings that roll by now. And it's been kind of a crazy thing, although my sigils are still working gangbuster. But I've even kind of, the most important part of the sigil thing is the initial sentence, the right. And even those have gotten manipulated a little bit. So, and we talked about last week, we kind of went into the first bardo of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And, you and I have never really conversed about this. Have you read the Tibetan Book of the Dead? And do you have any kind of knowledge about that you'd like to share?
I have only heard stories of it. I don't really have direct knowledge of it, nor have I heard enough to give like a succinct commentary on it.
Okay, no worries. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but you never know, man. You know a lot of stuff. And if you haven't, I would put that book up there, right up there with the numerology book as far as something you should read. So just pass that along. Just by way of introduction, Raphael and I go back many, many years now, 12, 13 years now. And he got involved.
Let's not exaggerate, Brian. I think
That's
it's
not an
10,
exaggeration.
10. Oh, well, okay, maybe it's not even an exaggeration. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not, man. You were involved with me in the very first iteration of the Wizard of Oz tarot deck, and Raphael really became instrumental in getting that out and getting it correct, and I will forever be grateful for that help, and really grateful for the connection. I mean, it goes over a decade now. So, what's going on? Well, tell us a little about your show and what's going on with you and that.
So I do a regular show every Wednesday with Andreas Exerdes called Europa, on which you've actually been one of the very first guests we had. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't.
Would you say that? Would you say the title of that again, please? You kind of went.
Oh, sorry. The show is called Europa, so like Europe, but with an A and with an N in the beginning, which is like new, neu in German, Neuropa, so Neuropa. You can easily find it on my channel. If anyone's interested, if you just enter what's written right here, you should easily find my channel. That's my channel name. And so sometimes we have guests and giving some presentations on history or on particular ideas. And other times we just talk about current events, whatever seems interesting to us, whether it's about, technology, history, whatever new media hype is going on. Recently, what I've been looking more into, because I got great recommendations, which many may be interested in, especially in the US, is a show by a certain Colonel Towner. She talks about Operation Gladio, which you may have heard about. This is the basically stay-behind armies after the Second World War in Europe, and how they very much intertwined with all the CIA and basically seem to be CIA assets. And that then is an important part of the other, let's say, podcast series I do on history, again, ancient and recent, where it's often about, oh, there's a conspiracy. It's not about this side. It's also not about that side. There's like a third factor and it seems unclear. And the Operation Gladio is like one puzzle piece of that, which allows you to understand how in history many times armies and forces have acted so strangely, because maybe it wasn't really an independent nation state, but like some stay-behind army in a false flag, right? It's very typical and nothing too fancy, but there's so many examples of this that it's mind-boggling. I almost want to say almost every major event seems to have been fudged in some way, and it's great if you have a colonel that's now retired with an open mind looking into these things and publishing it. So that's one of the things I'm following, let's say, and then, trying to summarize and talk about as well.
Nice. So, you've been a magical practitioner for a long time. What kind of newness, or where are you focusing your energies on the energetic level these days?
To be perfectly honest, and this has been going on now for a few years, if anything, I have very, let's say, limited, minor, explicit practice of any kind by now, actually, strangely enough. And what I do focus on is just anything and everything I believe I know on how to apply or act or attitude, perception, all of these things, and just see how much can I apply them to everything that's as mundane as it can possibly be. So from that point of view, there's nothing new, but what I'm kind of attempting to exercise is how much can I merge that, and then what does that look like? So
merge that with what?
Well, simply with everyday activity. So in terms of not having I don't really even do tarot readings currently. I didn't do channeling in a long time, deliberately at this point. But simply trying to, maybe put it this way, which everyone is doing naturally, simply apply any type of quote unquote psychic ability or any perception just to the everyday things one does anyhow.
Yes.
And then it's not necessarily an explicit separate practice.
Yes.
But
Yes, but
I guess
everything that you do there, that actually is practice. You know,
exactly.
when
And there's
you're standing in the grocery store line in the worst light that you could possibly get to see an aura and try to see the auras of people around you, that's just kind of fun and part of your everyday life, but that's a banging practice. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I mean, absolutely, that would even already be something more explicit for me, which is great. I mean, even here, I recently heard this on some panel about being able to see the patterns of the matrix or something like that. And I
Yeah.
had similar things. Basically, you have to stare at a wall in the right way. That's basically the trick, let's say, the white wall. But anyways, that's something else. But what I want to say is even more basic, just what you mentioned earlier in terms of gratitude. Not even talking about seeing anything particular, anything, but just basic attitude, like gratitude, or basic telepathy, basic these kind of basic things where it's not even about wanting to achieve something in particular, but just seeing how well can you integrate your regular flow or life or whatever you are in this moment with this apparently other world. And then it's not an other world, but it's just a thing. And over time, of course, ideally you come in contact with more people that you somewhat resonate with. And then you can also work and operate on that level, which of course is great. Because then even or when we're doing a podcast or whatever, it's not just two mechanical cogs in a machine, as it were, for example, maybe in a company with a bad HR department. But if you have a connection on a different level, there is, it's a completely different ball game in terms of possibilities for communication, efficiency, and all of that. So
Yeah. So this, pretty much everything, how many different systems and stuff I've been into over the years, but at the end of all of that, it's all about like just pure energy and the energy of the source. And when you really realize that that's the case and you start living in accordance with the laws of the way energy works, energy like has rules and it doesn't really vary. It has certain, the entirety of the universe can be boiled down to two words: cause and effect. Things everything that's going on in your life, the things that are around you, the things that you're attracted to are a reflection of the frequency, energetic frequency that you're sending out. And the waves of thoughts that are in the astral, those are real things. They haven't materialized in the real world yet, but that's where that materializing in the real world starts, out in your light body in the astral. So it's made a huge difference for me to just evaluate everything in terms of that, and the flows of energy, how to see that, and the way that the entirety of our part of the simulation is all just little connections of that, that's going to break apart and then be something different in a whole nother reality. So anyway, we ramble on. We get off on tangents sometimes.
So there's two particular questions I have, or ideas. So the one is, and I had heard this repeatedly, and I'd be curious just what you say about it. The idea being that contained, let's say, at the location of the heart, it's not really the heart. The heart would just be the physical representation. Is some sort of a container, some sort of a recording device, some sort of a connectivity, which would then translate into the sentence, the only thing you take with you after this life would be kind of, how should I say, the love that we shared, to put it in a cheesy way maybe, but that this is in some way, shape, or form recorded within the center of the body. Have you ever heard about such an idea?
Well,
To what extent are you familiar with it?
that strikes deeply on. You and I have had this conversation before. During the course of my training, I got to see myself die and experience what happens after that. And through the course of that learning, I realized that, you come back, your energy is eternal for the most part. And what you actualize into your light body this time around, you get born again with. Anything that you think about, your human relationships, like any of the human constructs, your constructed personality, all of that goes away and just leaves your light and your light body. And what you actualize during the course of your life and actually put into use and made part of you, grokking in fullness, that you get to come back with, which is why I'm such a beast about I love learning. I want to bring as much with me next time as possible. Oh, it just gives me just immense joy. So I really enjoy this life. I enjoy living in this life and experiencing it to its fullness. But as much as I'm in this world, I'm also like try to make most of the stuff that I do and the things I get involved with be driving those goals or not. It's not really a goal, just to actualize as much as I can and just be full. This is
I mean, especially if it's something eternal, I'm not sure if there can be a goal. There could only be a goal within the limitation.
Yeah, that was a bad
Otherwise,
word.
I'm just joking about it. Otherwise, it's maybe also just an attitude, so.
Yeah, well, an attitude is a human construct. There are none of those at that point. And when you're choosing, where to come back in, this goes back to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, man. The three bardos, if you don't read the whole book, just scope out the three bardos, okay? Hey, what's up, Amber? Hey, Diane, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for coming. I can always count on you. The fact that and we talked about the first bardo last week, and the main key to that is that in that first stage, right after you die, you have the ability to attain freedom and move on into the light. And by being able to realize that the illusions are illusions and that you, in fact, are part of the source and part of the light, is liberation. And you don't have to come back around for this again anymore. And the other two bardos talk about, like, if you miss it and don't get it, like if you don't really meditate, if you don't really get to that point where you can calm yourself and cut yourself off and reach blank space, and like all of those mental things that happen after that can just drive you nuts and make you lost, so that you have to come back around again and figure it out some more. But what
sounds kind of hilarious, yes.
Say again?
Sounds kind of hilarious. Yes, please go on.
Why is that?
Oh, just like, yeah, if you're too confused, yeah, maybe you're not going to explain it, I guess, the second and third bardo, maybe when you're too confused. Is that what happens?
Well, what happens in the second bardo is you go through the things that, like, the good deities and the wrathful deities, and those are all the constructs of your own mind and your own illusions about who you were and what you were. And I've been contemplating this since I kind of reread that book a couple of weeks ago, and it's kind of like seeing people talk about in some of the near-death things that, you see your life flash before your eyes right as you're going out. That's kind of like, that's what's happening. But those things take on more materialized sort of forms in that thing. A lot of people talk about ayahuasca as being the little death, and that's one of the things that that's a benefit, and it's useful for, is like addressing both of those layers of deities and constructs on that level. And then when you're passing away, you've already dealt with that. And then once you get through the second Bardo and all of your own constructions, the last one is about how you gravitate towards a new set of parents and a new desire to incarnate. And it's pretty, it's in Tibetan terms, but the nut of that, pretty, at least from my explorations, pretty accurate on a lot of levels.
Especially in terms of how you said that you can kind of reconfirm it with what you experienced yourself, or at least with the information that you gleaned yourself through the visions.
Yeah.
So I have one more question, because we briefly wrote about it, or not really. I had sent you this clip, again from a random, or not so random, but a panel that I was watching, but where there can be, anyone can be a guest. And someone gave a very interesting comment, in this case, someone who self-identifies as a quote-unquote flat earther, so who doesn't believe that the earth is a spinning ball, 666 miles or whatever. Anyhow, but the main thing is, he says he's a practitioner of ceremonial magic, and then said that when switching the cosmology, and let's keep aside what it really is, doesn't even matter, but just in terms of mind space, that it would make a difference whether I ultimately then imagine myself on a spinning ball, let's say, for lack of a better term, or on a, let's say, maybe stable surface, or just an infinite flat plane or something. What would you say about that?
Wow. I don't really hold, perception is reality, and someone can make themselves believe anything is true if they really wish it to be that way. My experience, I can't think of a single planetary body in the entire universe that I know of that is flat, and all of them are round. And every scientific, I'm sorry, it's not really, I know
well,
there.
Again, we don't need to talk about any, let's say, factual reality. Let's completely leave that aside. I'm merely talking about a constructed mind space, where I can well imagine that if I have different environmental variables in that virtual space I'm having in my imagination, it would make a difference, or maybe, I don't know, it would take away processing power if I simultaneously have to imagine I'm spinning in this and this direction or whatever else, and it's just less effort if I would imagine myself, for example, on an infinite, flat, unmoving plane. I don't know. I'm just asking these questions because I heard this comment and I had never heard something like this before, and I wondered if there could be something to it.
I watched that video, and it really kind of just, the whole subject just sort of confuses me, to be honest with you. It seems like so much ado about nothing. And there's no part of me that connects to that as a reality. Now, on to your question about, if there's a paradigm, I believe that in your own reality, that yes, that's an absolute truth. And that you can perceive that, and that becomes your reality. Is that anyone else's reality? I don't know. The whole paradigm shift thing goes back to what I've talked a lot about set points in your aura and in the bands of your aura, and what color you are. And over the last couple of years, I've done a ton of experimentation, and have learned a lot about actually shifting your color density and what it normally is. And when you push the colors, you're also pushing set points a little bit. And I won't go into detail on this. I was in a really, really gnarly situation, a disagreement and some really intensity between me and somebody I really cared about. And there was an impasse, and it was just going to be bad. And I didn't want it to be bad, man. And I was like, I was reacting to the energy of this other person in a way that I've never reacted to anyone's energy. It like physically made me feel bad, like like I just wanted to run in the opposite direction. But because of the proximity of this person in this group, I couldn't get away. Okay, so finally, after all of the solutions I tried, I went, I kind of got I'm mainly like this blue energy, but I have like like right at the beginning of my second band, this kind of gnarly orange energy. And that's what I kind of fire up to do projective effects. So I decided that I was going to like ramp down the amount of blue, ramp up the amount of orange, and change it so that really my main color was orange. And I did that. And in the other perspective, I could not see an option. I could not see an option. I moved the color to that other color, set points changed, and all of a sudden I went, oh, boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden in this different color, my energy is not reacting to the frequency of this other person's energy at all. And it wasn't like a personal dislike. It wasn't like I had any grudge or like beef. It was like an energetic thing, man. It actually pushed me back a couple of times. So it was a very unique and weird experience, which led to the whole color changing, set point moving thing. And that paradigm shift kind of really reflected that a lot, so it's like, in a way, without mentioning that part of it or moving your set points, that's what that is really about. When you change your view of reality to another perspective and you're looking at the same center information from a completely different point of view, you take all of your emotions, your evaluations, everything looks at that differently. And that's a really useful thing to apply. And if people would apply that to each other and a lot of the political situations, and everybody just get out of their own individual, this is truth and you got to believe this, and just start looking at it from different perspectives objectively, who knows what kind of goodness could come out of that for communication and connection and flowing and people working together instead of at this, kind of.
Yeah, there is this saying that one of the highest hallmarks supposedly of intelligence is the ability to hold two conflicting views at the same time.
Yeah.
And too oftentimes in debates, whether political, whether about these earth-shaped topics, whether about, I guess, probably anything you can imagine, too oftentimes it's not really about, oh, let's compare notes. Which one makes more sense? Let's make both calculations. Let's attempt it from both ways. Let's see what we can agree on, maybe even. But it's more like you said, it's almost, recently I compared it with religious zealotry, which it oftentimes has become in so many cases. And then, of course, it's not really about communication or understanding, but maybe if even into, herding both groups. So both keep buying their whatever they're supposed to buy and keep fighting each other instead of not needing to buy anything because they get along with each other, right? So,
yeah, I'm okay, you're okay, bro. Let's have a beer and go to the beach. All right, listen, this show is always about practice, so we're going to fire up some sacred space, do a little blank space breathing, which I think you'll really dig, man. I ran across, I got a gift of a pamphlet of a couple hundred different breathing techniques that somebody had accumulated over the course of their practice. And I've just been going crazy on them, man. There's like all these different effects that happen, really physiological effects, and like humming that makes nitric oxide happen. That's just a really crazy thing. But there's one of the best places to get to with meditation is blank space, when you can completely shut everything off, right? Well, it's difficult for a lot of people. It was certainly difficult for me. And, I run across a few tricks on that over the years, but I remembered one from a while ago that has been working pretty much gangbusters. And that's imagining. I had this friend that was like he was a techno guy, man. So he had a gadget for everything. So he comes over one afternoon and he's got this little metabolism electrode thing, and a couple of those, a little electrode went on your fingers and it would start humming. And as you like decreased your metabolism and your breath and everything, the hum would go down, and it's kind of like you had control over that, which was really a great motif for me to be able to focus on. And then when you you're out of breath and you're still and you're not doing anything, and the thing shuts off and you just want to stay there. Now, that you can't hold your breath, and as soon as you start breathing, you ramp it back up. But as you practice with that, you can get to that space, and you've written that groove in your aura so that you recognize that space. And after a while, you can start taking breaths and extending that, and all of a sudden you can do it as long as you want. So I've been using this the last few weeks, and it's pretty cool, and I'll love to know what you think about it after we get going.
Yes, thank you. I want to take a look at the book too. I'll get the title of it.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'll join you, but I'll just leave out of the studio. And thanks so much for having me. And talk soon.
Anything you want to promote while we're here
no, just anyone who wants, just check out here. That's the YouTube and everything else, website, everything you'll find.
Highly recommended. And Andres, his partner, really brilliant, creative guy, and well worth scoping out. So thank you again. I know it's like the middle of the night for you in Vienna. I really appreciate the gift. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you.
Thank you so much. And let's do more fun stuff soon sometime.
Well,
enjoy. Thank you.
All right. We're going to banish up. Create some sacred space. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. We come together tonight to make our energetic circle, create a space of safety and joy. We ask that the angels be with us this evening and fill our space with their radiance and their truth. We ask that we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the wisdom to understand. And with absolute gratitude, infinite unconditional love, and wish for bliss to the source, we open our circle. All right, we're going to take a look at the card for the week. Yeah, and I'm not going so fast. There we go. All right. Angel MIHAEL, the angel of fertility. This guy's a little intense. Yeah, we'll read that here momentarily. You're experiencing worry, anxiety and fear, feeling timid, insecure, and defensive. Allow yourself a defeat. Look at your deepest desires and recognize which has heart and passion and enough meaning and power to sustain you. Now, focus all of your energy on that. Think of your mind like a magnifying glass. Bring the scattered light of all your ideas down to a single concentrated point that catches fire. Experience your determination to create something from your dreams and do something with them. A surprise event is coming. Happy. It will be auspicious and improve your attitude. A definite change for the better. You are on the right track. Waste no time. Success is for the patient. Look for the signs of success and follow it through. Never give up. Never give up, even when the going gets tough. Offer your insecurity up in prayer, and it will be replaced with spiritual strength. All right, so let's do our blank space cleansing breath. And what you're going to do is we're going to inhale really deeply from your solar plexus. You're going to fill yourself up as much as you possibly can. When you think it's got packed enough, put a little more in there. And as you release out, you're going to take that in through your nose. And as you release your breath out through your mouth, you're going to imagine your entire body is like a machine that's getting shut down and it's winding down. Get in a position where you can just relax all your muscles. And by the time we get to the end of the breath and you're out of breath, you're in blank space, and just hang there, even if it's just for a second or two. If you can hold it, I'm going to leave it about 5-10 seconds for you to stay there and just enjoy. We're going to do 3 repetitions of that. Okay. All right. Here's number 1. Inhale. Use your solar plexus. Draw that energy, fill yourself up. Exhale slowly. Turn yourself off. Follow the point down. Your thoughts shut off. Your muscles relax. Deeper. Silence. Inhale. Really draw it in. Exhale. Shut off the machine. Silence. One more. Inhale. Pack it in. Exhale. Completely relaxed. Let your body go limp. Deeper. Deeper. Still. Okay, we're going to do a quick little guided meditation. I want you to keep your eyes closed and imagine you're standing in a room that's kind of carved out of stone. And one wall is this clear kind of translucent plastic, and there's a lot of light coming from behind it, and it's sort of sparkling around the room. And slowly, the glass partition dissolves, and it leaves you looking at this infinite sky. Light beams radiating everywhere. And your attention follows to the brightest spot in the sun, in the sky. And it seems to be coming closer, getting brighter, brighter. And it's shining directly on you. And you're bathed in this immense, intense white light. And it starts rushing by you like the wind. And the light changes into little flames of energy. And it's rushing by you, and you're dissolving in the wind and the light. And the light is getting brighter and brighter and brighter until it consumes everything. And you realize in that moment that you and the light are the same. Eternal, invincible, pure love. The light swirls around you, cleansing your light body and your physical body, taking all your fears, negative emotions, your illnesses, any negative energy of any kind, leaving you standing bright and pristine, clear of anything that isn't you. And your light body just sparkles and lights up the room. And the light starts to dim and move off. And you feel all fresh and tingly. And slowly start to come back. Bring yourself back. And slowly open your eyes and come back to this space. Safe and sound. And pure as the driven snow. Nice. All right. Anyone out there looking? Well, we're doing a reading for Mary Jo. Yeah. And Jaya. Jaya? Yeah, Jaya. All right. Mary Jo, this is for you. Focus. Focus. Words of wisdom from my friend Mary Jo. Words of wisdom from my friend Mary Jo. Words of wisdom from my friend Mary Jo. Number 14. The Angel of Truth, Liberty, and Justice, the Superman card. I love the doves down there. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can find that. Share screen. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Oh yeah, I've got to do that over here. There we go. All right. Freedom has arrived. Look with objective, open eyes and see clearly how you have created the situation you are experiencing. Free yourself from these oppressive circumstances. Blend your creativity and imagination and your logic and reason. See things clearly and use your powers to transform your situation. You can turn this thing around. Recognize where in your life you have power and rebuild your self-confidence. You have a tremendous potential for focusing on innovative ideas and releasing the necessary burst of energy. Stop backing yourself into a corner and deliberately trying to get yourself into seemingly impossible situations in order to force a really creative solution. Liberate yourself using your intuition and ingenuity. Know that you will soon be free to fly like the wind. Believe and trust that there will be relaxation from all your tension and fears, and the pressures ease off, and the whole situation just seems to turn around. Woohoo. All right. Here's one for Mom. All right, Mom. Focus, close your eyes, take a really nice deep breath, And imagine that you and I are standing face to face and we're looking at each other in the eye. And if there's something really specific that you want to know about, really focus on that and beam that to me, right? And if not, just stay focused on receiving some words of wisdom, okay? All right, here we go. Let me get a good shuffle. Words of wisdom for mom. Words of wisdom for mom. Words of wisdom for mom. Number 43, the angel of prosperity. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, almost. There we go. Your expectation has gone unfulfilled. Your emotional attachment to the outcome has resulted in a deep disappointment. When you choose to view loss, this is a loss. Grief, pain, and heartache fill you to the brim. This takes a while to heal. You feel turmoil inside, like the surface of a violent sea. You never sufficiently appreciate something until you have lost it. Releasing someone you love or letting go of a habitual behavior is never fucking easy. Experience your grief and learn to move through a crushing loss. Oh, my darling. You're so loved. Okay. Shh. When something you put your heart and soul into has not worked out, you doubt in the very beliefs that have sustained you. Turning your grief inward is appropriate for a short time. When you finally shed the sorrow, pick up the pieces and press on, the real healing begins. Find a new passion, set your sights on a new goal, and do things in the moment that will make it happen. Release your attachment to expected outcomes and cross the bridges as you get there. You release yourself from heartbreak. Choose to seek a new beginning. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sending out some love, Mom. And you've got love from the angels too. I'm telling you, man, they were so loud while I was reading. I got distracted a couple times. All right, Amber. Yo, girl. You know the drill. Focus. You're a turbulent sea in there, young lady. Words of wisdom for my friend Amber. Words of wisdom for my friend Amber. Words of wisdom for my friend Amber. Yes. Number 11, the angel of victory. Let's see. Here we go. You are experiencing a cycle of change that will help your bottom line. Shatter the obstructions that keep you from realizing that your greatest you. Shed the weight of old habits and baggage. Isn't that just the fucking truth? Dissolve psychological or emotional resistance, and you free your talents to blossom and reveal themselves. Move through your old fears of failure. Turn an objective eye to your efforts. Evaluate your mistakes and learn from them. Perfect your craft. Patience. Don't you hate that? Patience. This cycle is shaking up and rebuilding your life. You know, it's that Pluto in our sign thing, man, in Aquarius. Growth, all the triggers. Wow. Growth comes through earnest effort and hard work. Plan your strategy during this pause. A major decision is here, and one that will represent a big improvement in your finances, one you'll welcome joyously. So stop worrying. You experience a nostalgic moment, looking back with satisfaction on something you have achieved. What you have built can grow by itself, and you can step back and let it thrive. There you go. All right, Diane, absolutely. Think hard. You're all nice and sparkly. You like that meditation? Yeah, that's nice. Singular focus. Words of wisdom for my friend Diane. Words of wisdom for my friend Diane. Words of wisdom for my friend Diane. Number 22, Angel of Healing Capacity. Yeah, man, I got to do something about that. Okay. Love is not a business transaction. You are being overbearing and placing conditions on your love. You are a true extremist. You work too hard or you play too hard, and you must now learn balance. Man, don't we all? Be aware when the world begins changing, when what was good begins to cause pain, the loss of happiness, the failure of a friendship, or disillusionment when you find out that your friends did not support you when you needed them. Never dwell on what's happening. Turn around and focus all your energies in a new direction. Experience your emotions completely. Go through them. Once the grieving is over and the pain subsides, pull yourself up and take charge of your life again. Create. Immerse yourself in new interests. No more pity parties. There's a lot still to do. You have much yet to accomplish. Share the richness of your feelings in ways that support, comfort, and motivate other people. This will manifest tangible abundance for you. Those dang angels, man, they just don't let you get away with anything. Inga, what's up? You're welcome, Amber. My pleasure. Mary Jo, Mom, you're very welcome. And that was your mom, so all over the place. Wow, crazy. All right. I got time for one more. Let's see. All right, Inga, you ready? Well, wake up, girl. You wake up. You can be the last reading of the show before we sign off. All right. Yeah. Okay. You know what to do. Focus up. Yeah, it's late in Iceland. Words of wisdom for my friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my friend Inga. Number 27, the angel of the propagation of light. Man, I love this angel. You are bored. You need motivation. You're unhappy with your accomplishments and the world in general, so you make no effort, believing it to be pointless. Allow things to flow. Have faith in God to create the necessary changes to regenerate those circumstances. You are spiritually dissatisfied. You are exhausted and disgusted with your current situation. Your intuition has been halted by your lack of focus or sense of purpose, and this indulgence in your emotions has led you to this dissatisfaction and exhaustion. Anger is great energy. Yeah, use it productively. Use your frustration to fuel your forward movement. Your fear becomes the target of your anger and thus loses its iron grip. That is a great key. Your fear becomes the target of your anger and thus loses its iron grip. Remain open to new opportunities that life is offering you right now. They bring contentment, peace, and deep satisfaction. Yeah, there you go. All right. So, it's Thanksgiving week. I just I was going to do this a little longer. Maybe we'll talk about this next week too. But, the whole energy of gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a thought, isn't just a singular thing. It's an energetic wave. And it has physical and mental benefits that just living in an attitude of thankfulness rather than feeling like you're shortchanged and you're a victim and like, oh man, all the stuff that's happening to you. When you find yourself in a space of gratitude, even for the bad things, the bad things, the traumas, like, man, I've got a trauma train. I've learned from all of them, and you do an alchemical moment where you transmute that pain and that um, negative energy into something that grows you and sustains you and filters and flows out of you into the people around you, and they flow out and you create this amazing wave. So first of all, I just want to express my gratitude for all of you guys. Thank you so much for showing up and supporting me and participating with me. I look forward to spending time with you every week. So thank you very, very much. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment and a share. And I'll see you next week. Oh, we give our limitless gratitude for sharing space and energy and light with you this evening. We thank the angels for their truth and wisdom, and we bid everyone to go back to where they live in peace and joy and love, and with absolute gratitude, unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. We close our circle, and until next week, be in the light.